All right, here we go. Mike Biseglia, Bad Weather Fans, the Net Side Connection. Alex will be doing a little bit of a Knicks recap in a couple minutes. If you hang tight to the end of this video, you'll hear his reaction. Knicks losers to the Rockets last night. They've lost 3 straight games, coming off that 7-game winning streak. I will talk about the Knicks a little bit at the end, because why not? For the Nets, they're losers last night. They get their ass kicked by the Charlotte Hornets, the upstart Hornets. Nets clearly in tank mode. They lose this game 1-something to 80-something. And it's a lot of the rookies. You've seen them play a ton, and it's a lot of guys that you will not see on the roster next season. I think that's pretty clear. And they're experimenting with some guys. There will be some guys that will be back. I think the more of the interesting issue, and I'm sure this is a big topic on for Net fans, was what happened against the Sacramento Kings. Nets, 9-game, 10-game losing streak. They win a game versus the Kings, who out-tanked them. And I'm sure it pissed a lot of Net fans off. I was disappointed in it as well. I'm hoping they lose every game. The problem is they are horrible. They're going to win max 18, 19 games this season, right? Like an ungodly low amount of wins. Let me put my phone to silent. Just got a text from another great Nets fan. But the point of it is, yes, they did win. But when you win 18, 19 games in a season, and you are now battling for the worst records in the NBA, unfortunately, there's a time where you're not going to be the better tanking team. And maybe morally for me, I can't sit here and be like, they won 18 fucking games this season and say the organization did a bad job. The Pacers won a game. Pascal Siakam went for 30 and they won. There's going to be times that they win. They're also going to need a lot of fucking luck on May the 10th. So if it's 18 wins, if it's 19 wins, if it's the 4th pick, it's the 5th pick, at this point, I just want the season to come to an end, and we can focus on next year where we'll see 19-year-olds become 20-year-olds. We'll see more development, how that continues to happen. And then for them, the high lottery pick, where that is, I don't know. I want it to be number 1. All Net fans want it to be number 1. Clearly, that's the goal for this team. I can't give them too much shit for winning 1 game when they were on a 10-game losing streak. They are horrible. They are clearly trying to lose by playing guys you've never heard of. They are playing all of their rookies and getting them experiences, which is what we want. And I think there's been a true shift in dynamic from what we saw last year to what we are seeing this year, okay? Last year, they tried to win more games. This year, they are clearly on a tanking message. Also, when you're trying to do a horizontal video, holding your iPhone up for what is now 2 minutes and 57 seconds, I have to be honest, my right bicep is pumping. This is a great workout for my arm. I'm a lefty too, and I don't know why I'm holding the phone with my right arm, but I am. So that's the situation with the Nets. They suck. They're going to continue to lose games. They have games against Washington and Indiana coming up. Those are going to be the nastiest fucking NBA games you have ever seen. Now, I will give the Nets shit. If Indiana and Washington go all out on the tank and the Nets don't, that is a problem. Because now we're in the weeds. The last couple games, they got to do it. And if you're worried about what the NBA thinks, take the $500,000 fine. I also do think at the same time, like, does it really ultimately matter? The Dallas Mavericks won the lottery the year before. Look at the teams that got into the top 3. It's not a guarantee. I think more of it is that you don't want to slip out of the top 5. But even then, you might find a better player. Here's the part that's stressful, right? You can go maddening on 1 fucking loss to the Kings, 1 win versus the Pacers, a win versus the Washington, a loss. You're driving yourself insane. It's going to be luck, and ultimately, they're going to be one of the teams in the mix to do it, and you just have to pray that it happens. On the Knicks side, they loses 3 straight games. They came off a 7-game winning streak right before that. And I value winning streaks. I think they're important and they show that you're playing well. But you will have to be in a spin mode if you are going to take anything out of as a Knicks fan. Winning versus teams that I just mentioned are trying to lose. These teams are trying to lose. So there's not much that you can get out of beating the Pacers twice, Washington, the Nets, the Warriors, who were missing everybody, but tried, and you see what happened. The Pelicans, who are a bad team, but probably the best of the bunch that I just named, the Knicks got wins versus all 7 of those teams. They then play 3 teams that are in the playoffs. The Hornets, who have been one of the best teams in the NBA this second half of the season and really since the new year, have turned it on and have been incredible. The Rockets last night, which have been underachievers, but a little better of late. They get a blowout win versus the Knicks. And then sandwich in between with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who you could argue are the best team in the NBA, and the Knicks hang tight versus OKC. Thought it was really telling what Josh Hart said, where the team's not trending right, and they got shit to figure out. All of this is true. It's what happens when the playoffs start. I mean, can the Knicks be the better version of themselves? Only time will tell to answer that. You know, from my perspective, a lot of Knicks fans came into the season and they said, this team's going to win 60 games. This team's going to wipe the regular season. And then ultimately, yes, it's about the playoffs, but this team's going to be an unstoppable force in a weaker Eastern Conference. And you cannot minimize, I'm sorry, if you're a Knicks fan and you see Jason Tatum back, you see the emergence of the Pistons, you see the Cleveland Cavaliers trading for James Harden and improving their roster. The Knicks are one of the teams in the East that can win and get to the NBA Finals, but it's a lot more mixed and it's a lot more 50-50 or 25-25 or whatever the percentage you want to give it. This is not a team that if you said to the start of the season to a Knicks fan, this is where they are, it wouldn't be good enough. Again, it doesn't really matter. It's what happens in the playoffs, and they can erase all of that, and they do that. They go on a run, and they make the NBA Finals. Who cares? But clearly, it's not the regular season that they wanted, and I think that's fair to say. And it's about what happens in the playoffs. You know, like I remember from a Net fan, when the year that James Harden demanded a trade, the Nets ended up as the 7 seed. They beat the Cavs in the play-in game to get to the 7-2 matchup, and they played the Celtics. And the whole thing was like, you don't want to play this Nets team. They're the best 7 seed you'll ever find with Durant, Kyrie. They now have a more balanced roster with Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, Bruce Brown. Ben Simmons might come back. That didn't happen. But ultimately, they just weren't good. Like, that team just wasn't good. And will we get to this playoffs and we see that the Knicks, that they're just not that good? They're just not good enough? Or do they amp it up? Like, the whole thing with the Nets was, okay, now they're in the playoffs. Kyrie and Durant, you got 2 dynamic players, 2 of the best players in the league. Can they change it? Can they turn it up? They did not. What will happen with the Knicks, we'll find out. And I'm rooting for them to lose. I'm rooting for them to lose to the Sixers in the first round. That's what I'd like. I'd like that demise. I'm not on Twitter anymore, so all the joy I get is internal, not external. With the few fans that they have, this would be all internal, but that's my feelings on it. All right, here's Alex. He'll probably go more into that and his thoughts on the Knicks. Maybe he'll talk about the Nets. We'll find out. This is Bad Weather Fan. See y'all.
Knicks lose last night to the Rockets for the 3rd time in a row. Very frustrating loss. Things do not look good in Knickland. They look slow. As Gio said on the morning show this morning on WFAN, the Knicks look like the slower team, and there's a few times that that's happened over the last few games. The older and slower team as opposed to the younger, quicker, upcoming team. It was a very good point. And honestly, he's not wrong. But also on top of that, it's not a shot at him, but in general, the Knicks last season, let me give you a little stat. Last season, the Knicks in March and April, they were 11-11. And their only win against a team that was in the playoffs was against the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Milwaukee Bucks, we know the story with them. Giannis has had one foot out the door for a while, and they got knocked out in the first round last season. So that win wasn't exactly a great win. So a lot of the stuff going on right now is scary. It's concerning. There's room for improvement. I don't want to say there's not room for improvement, because there is. Even at this point in the season, you can still get better. But it's definitely scary, but at the same time, I'm keeping myself at a level head because of what happened last season. And that's not to say that everything that happened last season is guaranteed to happen this season, because the Celtics fans last year will say they thought they were going to win a championship all the way, and because they won a championship the season before, and because they spanked the Knicks 4 times in the regular season, and that didn't happen in the postseason. Of course, now they have the excuse that Tatum got hurt, even though the Knicks were up 3-1. That's besides the point. I'm getting off track here. Sorry about my voice. I have a little cold. You know, and Bad Weather Fans will be back full time soon. I had a baby about a little over a month ago, Brooke. She's beautiful. She's amazing. Had her in the blizzard, the 2 feet of snow. But we'll be back soon. I just got a lot going on right now, and so does Mike. But we'll be back soon. Full steam ahead soon, every week with full episodes. But anyway, I'm saying the 11-11 record and last March and April to provide context that what happens now is not always what is indicative of what's going to happen in a couple weeks when the playoffs start. They have 6 games left. 4 of them are at home. They've been dominant at home, and they've been almost a little over 500 on the road, which is very concerning come playoff time. But again, what does a regular season really mean? The NBA has become one giant preseason. In the regular season, it's been one giant preseason leading up to the playoffs when you are a contending team at the Knicks level. For a team like the Hornets, a team like the Pistons last year, a team like, other teams like down below, wherever, and lower in the standings. The regular season means something when you're up and coming, when you're one of those fast and young teams. Sure, it means something because you're trying to prove, you're trying to get your vibe together, you're trying to get your cohesion together to get that long playoff run that you've been looking for just to make the playoffs. But for a team like the Knicks that are battle-tested, they've been to the playoffs, they've won a bunch of rounds over the last few years, they got to Eastern Conference Finals last year, they have the same exact core, they just have a new coach, which still didn't make sense, but Mike Brown's here, he's a good coach, he's won a lot of games, won a lot of playoff games, has been further than Tibbs in the playoffs. I know he had LeBron, but it is what it is. The Knicks will be fine. I am confident they'll be fine. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse that they will be fine. I feel like people think I'm crazy because I think they're going to be fine, but I just don't see a team that is this talented, this battle-tested, just fall apart, get blown out in the first round, and then see you later and you blow up the roster. I got fans on Twitter in my mentions mocking me because I say wins are good. Like, you guys are insane. Yes, wins are good. Yes, wins against bad teams are good. You win games. You can only play who is in front of you. And yes, those 7 wins in a row were against bad teams. But the Knicks, before those 7 wins in a row, they lost back-to-back in Los Angeles. That was tough. But before that, early March, they beat the Spurs, who might be the best team in the NBA. They beat the Nuggets twice over the last couple weeks before that. They beat the Nuggets once in March and once at the end of February. And they beat the Raptors, who are a playoff team. And not to mention, at the end of February, they beat the Rockets, who they got stomped by in Houston. So I don't want to hear that the Knicks can't beat good teams just because they haven't over the last 2 weeks. It's just insane. It is just cherry picking. It is negative thinking. It is insane. And I know the Knicks have had problems. I know that there was a video of one of those aggregating bullshit Knicks sites like Big Nick Energy that are just trying to cause controversy to promote their own page. These fake ass Knicks fans, whatever. That Towns was sitting away from the team. That happens all the time. I know I used to criticize Julius Randle all the time for doing that and sitting away from the team huddle during a timeout. But with Towns, he is not Julius Randle. He is not pouting on the floor. They're just trying to figure it out. And Towns probably was just taking a rest. And I hate those out of context videos. It drives me crazy, especially with a player like Karl-Anthony Towns who gives a shit. Unlike Julius Randle, who didn't give a shit, who admitted when he got to Minnesota that he was smoking so much weed with the Knicks that he was out of sorts because he had so much anxiety and he couldn't take it. People don't read those stories. People don't bring that stuff up because they don't want to ruin their narrative, ruin what they're saying, ruin what their point is. They like to cherry pick. Oh, the Knicks haven't beat any good teams over the last 7 games that they won. Well, that was what their schedule was. Would you like them to make up a schedule? Would you like them to play bonus games against big teams that are not on their schedule? Yeah, they lost the last 3 in a row. Yeah, that sucked. They went toe-to-toe with the Thunder. They got killed by the refs. Every single national beat reporter that covers the NBA that usually hates the Knicks admitted that the Thunder got the benefit of the whistle at an unstable, unnatural rate in that game. And that's not an excuse. The Knicks didn't hit the shots. They were open against the Thunder, but they played hard and they showed that they can go toe-to-toe with the Thunder. Twice this month, they had close games. The fourth quarter against the Thunder in OKC, they got steamrolled and things happened. But the early one at the Garden, they lost by 3. They could have easily won that game. So I don't want to hear that the Knicks are so far away. The sky is falling. Da-da-da-da-da. This team is about to win 50 games again. Excuse me. That cough I've been holding in finally caught up to me. But this team is about to win 50 games again for the 3rd straight year. That hasn't happened since the 90s. The Knicks are about to win multiple rounds in the playoffs again. That hasn't happened since the 90s for the 3rd straight year. I don't want to hear the fact that they've lost 3 games at the end of fucking March. is why they are not going to make a deep playoff run. It is absolute nonsense. Yes, there are problems. Yes, Mitchell Robinson has said there's problems. Yes, Josh Hart has said there's problems. Yes, Mike Brown has said there's problems. But they're not going to go out and say that we are just coasting. It's the dog days of the regular season, which it is. It has been a tough road for the Knicks. They are battle-tested. They're trying to stay healthy. They got Deuce McBride back. That is incredible. They got to get Landry Shamet back. He'd probably be playing right now if it was the playoffs. He's going to be fine. The Knicks will be full steam ahead and healthy with Mitchell Robinson healthy for the playoffs, and they'll be ready to rock. I am so tired of this fucking negativity, and I know it's so easy to do at this point. I don't even blame fans who have been positive for a long time that the last 3 games are hard to watch, because they have been hard to watch. They've been terrible to watch. They've been disheartening to watch. But the Knicks are going to be fine. They are too good. They are too good, and they're too talented. They are too amazing. With the clutch player of the year last year, Jalen Brunson, the starting all-star point guard the last 2 years in the Eastern Conference. They have had Karl-Anthony Towns is a future Hall of Famer. Jalen Brunson is a future Hall of Famer. They got Mike Brown, who's been around the block, who's coached every single team that has been good over the last 30 years. That goes back to Tim Duncan's Spurs, to Steph Curry's Warriors, to LeBron's Cavs, to taking the fucking Sacramento Kings to the playoffs, which is impossible. Okay? And now he can't coach because the last 3 games they lost, because the last month they haven't beat good teams over the last 3 weeks in your cherry-picking narrative of bucketed time. I am so tired of this shit. Like, I understand I'm losing it. I understand that I'm going to lose my voice and I'm going to cough again soon. And this cough is holding on for dear life in the back of my throat. And I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired in general because my baby, Brooke, I love her to death. My 1-month-old baby does not sleep, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. But at the same time, when I'm like doom scrolling Twitter while I'm trying to get my baby to sleep and I see the negative crap, it just absolutely kills me. And I understand there are level-headed people in the media like Gio, I mentioned him again, shout out to him, but like, who are just trying to make a point. And I'm not directing it at him, but it's more of the people that are like, oh, that cough is getting the best of me. It's more of the people that are just like, oh, they haven't beat good teams. Oh, well, wins are good, losses are bad. Alex is not breaking down the roster. And yes, this is how they sound to me. Yeah, I'm breaking down the games. I'm not sitting there with a chalkboard, not sitting there like breaking up tape, because that is boring as fuck. A Neanderthal could break down tape of sport. Look at the dumbasses in the NBA, the dumbasses in the NFL, dumbasses in baseball. Baseball is no tape. Whatever. Like, well, there is, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, it's not that hard, okay? The X's and O's. It's not that hard, okay? You can watch a game I'm 41 years old. I've been watching basketball since I can remember, let's say 35 years, okay? I know when things are going to be bad. I know when things are going to be good. It's my opinion, and sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. I like to think I'm right more than I'm wrong because I know what I'm looking at, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, the Knicks will be fine. They are good, okay? They really, really are good, and I hope they prove me right. And if you're rooting, this is how I'll end it. If you are rooting, if you think the Knicks are going to be bad and you are rooting more for them to be bad so you can be right, you are not a Knicks fan, okay? I went through it with Julius Randle a couple years ago, and I thought the OG trade was bad. I was wrong. I thought, I thought the OG trade was bad. I really did. They go on a run in that January we'll never forget. Knicks fans always talk about it, January 24, where they went on that run after the OG trade, before he got hurt for the first time of many times. And I just got on a video and I said, yeah, I was wrong. I fucking love it, though. I'm happy that I'm wrong. They're winning all these games. Let's go Knicks. And people are mocking me and this, that, and the other. And that's fine. Like, I was wrong. But guess what? I'd rather be wrong and the Knicks win than be right and the Knicks lose, if that makes sense. It does, actually. Perfect. I nailed that. So I'm going to end this. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, but I got rolling. My voice is going to give out. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to my wife, Hannah. My baby Brooke. My wife, Hannah. She's a superwoman. My son, Shy, is a toddler. Doesn't know what's going on, but he loves life. My dog, Ruby, doesn't shut up. She's the loudest barker in the world. But anyway, I got to go inside now. I've been sitting in the car. I'm sweating my ass off. It's 9,000 degrees. Thank God the summer is here. I got to lose some weight so I can like take my shirt off at the beach and not feel like a fat shit. But that's my problem, not yours. Let's go Knicks. We're going to be in the playoffs, so we're going to make it a long run. And yes, it's we. I'm part of the organization, just like you fans. Bad weather fans, we'll be back full-time soon once I can get some sleep and I get my voice back. Got to drink some iced coffee and drink some tea and maybe take some Tylenol. Whew. Let's go Knicks.